Hi, I'm Nick Ryan, Acting Principal here at Mirboo North College, and one of my other roles is our Teaching and Learning Leader. What I'm going to do here is walk you through all the information you need to get ready for Year 10 subjects in 2023. So, Year 10 is made up of a few elements. So there's compulsory units. Every student will do some English, maths, science and humanities, and that's going to run all year. In addition to that, they'll also do one semester of careers and health and respectful relationships. Plus, we want students to have some choice in what they're doing, so we offer some elective units. And some of our students are also ready to start undertaking some Year 11 subjects. So they might choose from one of our VCE sequences that we offer, or they might choose to do a VCE vocational module in work-related skills. So with regards to the options for Year 11 subjects, we know that some students are ready to start doing their VCE or VCE vocational major, ready to start that early, not waiting till Year 11, but having a bit of an experience, but not a full load of that. Just let's have a bit of a taste. Let's choose a subject that interests us and learn a little bit about what it's like to do a VCE subject, develop some skills, have the opportunity to do really well in an area of interest, and get ready and get used to what you'll be doing next year when you're doing all Year 11 subjects. So as you can see, we offer quite an array of subjects from sciences, arts, technologies, the humanities. So there's quite a lot of choices there, and of course mathematics, PE. So there's quite an array of subjects there. Now you've probably heard me mention a couple of times this vocational module. And here we can see that vocational module work-related skills is an option for our Year 10 students to start doing prior to getting into Year 11. So what is this vocational module? So what used to be called VCAL has been redesigned and redeveloped to better fit what students need to prepare them for their work life post-school. And so nowadays, starting from 2023, students will be doing a VCE subject when they're in the senior years, but they might be doing a vocational focus rather than a purely VCE focus. And to get people started at that in Year 10, if you're not ready to do a VCE subject, then what perhaps you should be doing is looking at what future work options are available to you and have the opportunity to do some work experience, which will take place in blocks in terms 2 and 3. Now, this doesn't lock you into having to go down that pathway. It's just an opportunity to explore what vocations might be of interest to you and to develop some skills. And that would be done in the work-related skills module, which would give you credit towards your VCE vocational module pathway. Now, that's enough of the Year 11 subjects that students might be undertaking when they're in Year 10. Let's have a look at what they actually do as the mainstream Year 10 subjects. So mathematics, all students will do mathematics, and we have 3 choices there available. Now, your maths teacher will support you with what's an appropriate one. So we have the core subject that gives all students the fundamental mathematics that we believe they need to go out into the world having good numeracy and ready for all of the mathematics that's just part of everyday life. We also have Core Plus, which has all of those fundamental scores plus a little bit more mathematics. And then we have an introduction to mathematical methods, which is for students that are strong in mathematics or really enjoy mathematics and are thinking about doing the more sophisticated math subjects when they get into the VCE. So this really sort of sets you up for VCE maths next year. In addition to that, we have mathematics elective available called pre-VCE mathematics. So if you would like to get a real head start on maths, but you're not ready to do a maths subject as your VCE subject in Year 10, you might want to look at doing the Vcm Preparation Elective. So while we're talking about electives, there's quite an array of electives that cover a lot of our areas. So we've got digital photography and public art as art subjects. We've got peak performance, leisure and outdoor sport and game sense there as health and PE focused things. In the technologies, we've got food today, introduction to cabinet making, visual communication and design. And then when we're looking at the humanities and languages and English, we've got German, literature, money and the law, and we've also got, for people who, as I mentioned before, interested in mathematics, there's a pre-VCE mathematics subject, and for those who are interested in digital technologies, we have a digital technology elective where people can investigate how digital technology impacts their life and develop some skills in being able to use technologies for interest and also potentially in their vocation. So what does it look like? So in semester 1 and semester 2, it's very similar, as you can see. The main difference being the careers or the health and respectful relationships electives. So all students will do 5 periods of maths, 5 periods of English, 4 periods of science, 2 periods of humanities. There'll be a VCE elective that they can choose from, or the vocational module on work-related skills, and that will run for the full year. And then there are 4 electives, 2 in each semester. Each of those are for 4 periods. And then, as we mentioned before, 2 periods on career education. So getting you ready to be interested in what it is that you might want to do post-school, be that further study or directly out into work or some combination of that, like a traineeship or an apprenticeship. So we develop skills in seeking employment, having an understanding about that, resumes, interviews, things like that. And equally, we know it's a complex world out there, so having a really good understanding of your own health and of respectful relationships, how you can best fit into society, is a really good and useful set of skills to have, and we cover those in our health and respectful relationships elective. Now, as I've said before, there has been this change now around VCAL. So the Education Department and the VCAA have undertaken what they call the Senior Secondary Reform, whereby they're suggesting that really we just need one certificate, one VCE. But some people might have what is often called sort of an academic focus in their study, and other people might have what is considered to be more of a vocational focus. And so they're now allowing for all that to be considered. At the end, you would get a VCE certificate, and it might be a VCE or it might be a VCE with a vocational major. So the vocational major allows for 2 years of study that's replacing the old VCAL in senior and intermediate, that is setting people up so that they've already got links into apprenticeships and traineeships. They already have skills that employers are looking for, and setting them up so that they have a good understanding of what's involved in employment and can transition successfully into that employment. So what that means for 2023 is that if you're thinking about that you might not finish full 6 years of school, that you want to go for a vocational pathway, or that you definitely know that I don't want to go to university, I know that I'm really interested in going to work, then looking into the VCE vocational module and doing the work-related skills unit in Year 10 is a really good way to actually form that opinion with some a good understanding of what you're involved in. Getting involved in that doesn't change that whether or not you can choose. No, actually, the normal VCE that's been going on is the pathway that I want to work, but I'm really glad that I've got a much better understanding of what's involved in vocations. Or it might set you up and go, yep, that really works well for me, and I want to continue on in that pathway when I get to Year 11 and Year 12. So we'll send out more information through Compass, and we've already sent out some information as well as information on our website. So the VCAA have produced this document that sort of shows what the various pathways might look like. You might do a pure VCE, and at the end of that, you would get an ATAR, a tertiary entrance rank, and that would be lead you on to options like university and TAFE. So there's, all of your certificate 1, 2, 3, 4s and diplomas, advanced diplomas. Apprenticeships generally have a TAFE involvement and a certificate involvement, and as do traineeships. So there's all of those options of university and all of those vocational further studies that are options for you if you do the pure VCE stream. You could do a VCE, but go, actually, pure VCE doesn't give me all of the skills I want. I also want to do a vet training as well. And so that will have a more vocational aspect to it, but the rest of my study is going to be around VCE. And so at the end of that, you would get your vet certificate, you would also get your VCE certificate, and that would lead into those same further study options. The third option, which is new, that replaces VCAL, is the VCE Vocational Major stream. Now, in that, you would do VCE Vocational Major subjects and some VCE subjects. You know, you can do a mix of that matches up with your interest and where you think your pathway is going to go. In addition to that, you can also do vet study, so that you're going to get some training by people who are experts in that specific area that you have a focus in. So as well as doing your VCE subjects and your VCE Vocational Major subjects, you will also do some vet, which is normally done outside of the school. And people know the phrase work experience. It's technically called structured workplace learning, because it's not just about going off and doing some work on site. It's around actually learning about work whilst you're on the job. So if you're doing the vocational major, you would spend a day a week outside of class doing your vet certificate, and you would also do another day a week off-site doing your structured workplace learning, where you're working with an employer. And at the end of that, you would get a VCE certificate in the vocational major. Now, if you choose that path, you would not get an ATAR. And consequently, most university courses would not be a pathway for you, but that's probably not what you were thinking in the first place if you decided on the vocational major. But if you need or you have the interest, you can certainly continue on with all of the vocational studies that TAFE would offer from certificates and diplomas, advanced diplomas, as well as the training that's undertaken when you would do an apprenticeship or a traineeship. So the three streams are all very similar. It's about identifying what works for you and your family and what's going to best set you up for what you do when you finish school here at Mirboo North. So to help people who are, you know, we don't expect that everybody knows what they want to do. You know, you're sitting here halfway through year 9, we're saying choose your subjects for year 10 and think about what you're going to be doing in year 11 and 12 and maybe beyond that. And we know it's completely unreasonable that everybody's got all of that sorted out. So we have support for you. We have careers guidance, we have the career subject in year 10, and we also have the Head Start program. So the Head Start program is an apprenticeship and trainees pathway for school. So it lets students undertake their VCE or their VCE vocational major whilst they're starting off an apprenticeship. So you're actually involved in an apprenticeship with an employer and getting support as you finish off your school and you start your apprenticeship with your employer. So what will happen then is the employer will go, well, we need you at particular times, and so we'll organise your schooling around the days when the employer needs you, as you're doing this hybrid model of study at school as well as work in an apprenticeship. The great thing about this, we know people can leave school permanently and start a full-time apprenticeship, but this is a way where you get support. So Nicole Hobson, our Head Start coordinator, is someone who's there to support you and your employer, making sure that the support that you need and the support that the employer needs to navigate this area as we're moving from school into full-time employment is there and available to you. So yeah, Nicole's email address is there. Please reach out to her if you've got any questions about the Head Start program, or of course contact us here at the school. So in addition to the things that occur in classes, we have extracurricular things that occur across all of our years. And in particular, in 2023, we have the extracurricular activities that will be of interest to various students. So peer support program, helping our year 7s adjust to life at school. They've all come from various different primary schools, and getting them settled in and getting the best start that they can to their schooling experience is something that our peer support leaders help out. So that's a program where we train our students at the end of year 9 to give them the skills and knowledge that they need to help our year 7s transition into school. And we find it's a great way to really give back to the community. And, you know, many of our students here will have benefited from the peer support program when they're in year 7. It's a great way to develop some skills, have a great time and give back to our school. Now, work experience. You know, everybody at some point is going to leave school. Maybe they'll go to further study, maybe they'll go off to work, but it's a great opportunity to go out and actually do some work. And we do that in the last week of term in term 3. So as throughout the careers program, and the students will identify areas where they might be interested in working, and collectively we will organise for you to be able to go and do that. Of course, the same sorts of things that you've been doing through years 7, 8, and 9 will still exist. We'll still have inter-school sport. So if you've got interest in sport, then you can go out and compete in both individual and team-based sporting events, and really benefit from the experiences that we know sport gives people. There's excursions for many of our subjects, so they will continue on in things that are relevant to the curriculum, and really enhance the learning that occurs here on site. And of course, we're involved in the South Gippsland Music Program, so we have opportunities for students to have lessons in learning various instruments, as well as our vocal program. So that will continue to be available to people, as well as the peer support and the work experience, which will be something new that students haven't had available to them in previous years. It's complex being at school. It's not easy. There's a lot of things going on while we're growing up, we're maturing, we're studying, we're building and changing relationships with our parents, with our friends, with other people in the community. And so we know how important it is to have additional support. We have homework club, whereby teachers run a session after school. We provide cheese, toasties and fruit, because we're hungry at the end of the day, and there's an hour there where you can get support from teachers in the subjects that you might have some homework to do on, or you want a little bit of extra support in those areas, or you just like working with your friends on your homework rather than being stuck at home all by yourself doing your homework. So that's done in the Senior Centre after school once a week on a day that we identify will work best for everybody. We also run health and wellbeing sessions. So we'll run sessions throughout the year on how students can best develop their skills in studying, and also around how they can really look after themselves. Time management, well-being, mindfulness. There's really important skills for students to have, and they don't just happen. You don't just magically wave a wand and everybody gets it. There's things that you need to learn, and so we'll develop sessions around that using the experience and skill we have within the school, and also by bringing in outside experts to really support our students to be the best they can be. Now, we have our wellbeing team, which is a really diverse group of staff, some of whom are permanently here at the school, some of whom visit on occasions, and some who are external agencies who come in and provide support for our students. So if you've got something that you're concerned about, you're not feeling great, your personal well-being or mental health could just do with a little bit of support, we're here to support you. And you can certainly access that by talking to your coordinators or talking to the principal team, as well as to our wellbeing coordinator, who will be able to organise the support that you need. Year 10 is around getting ready for what's happening in the senior school. And for many of our subjects, that means that we'll be doing exams. So in Year 10, there are some opportunities to practice exam. In our core subjects, you will have exams. And the important thing about that is that it's practicing preparing for exams. It's practicing actually sitting the exams, and it's practicing from learning from the exams afterwards, analysing them so that you can get better at sitting exams, because we know for many of our students, exams are going to become a reality in the senior school, and for many post-school as well. If you go on to further study, much of the assessment in that is around exams. So we want to build up our skills in that area. So it's not high stakes, fail, you get kicked out or anything like that. It's about a process of getting better at doing exams and preparing for exams. So, okay, we've talked about what it'll be like for you next year and what you'll be experiencing next year, but we're only halfway through Year 9 for most of us. We're a couple of weeks into Term 3. So it's about getting people ready for what they're doing, thinking about what they're doing. And we'll start that off with counselling sessions. So they'll start off on Friday the 29th of July. Parents are most welcome to attend. They'll be run here at the school, but if needs be, we can link you up with a virtual connection using our online video conferencing tools, or you're welcome to come into the school and sit in on those sessions. Subject selections, which are done online, are due back by Thursday, the 11th of August. That way we can start preparing our timetable. We can start talking to students about what subjects they're on and they're likely to be doing. So that's the due date around that. And if there's any changes that we want to recommend to the students, it gives us a little bit of time to have those discussions, to think about what is best for the students. Handbooks are available right now. They're up on the under the learning section of our website, mnsc.vic.edu.au. If you can go there, there'll be links sent out via Compass. But if you go to our college website, you'll be able to download the handbooks for Year 9, Year 10 and the senior school if you're interested in looking at what options are available after you finish off Year 10. So in the olden days, we used to do subject selections. You'd fill out a form, you'd bring it back, then we would have to work out how many students are going into which subject. Is there a lot in this one, not so many in those ones? And it was all done on paper. It's much, much faster, given that all our timetabling is done electronically, if we can do it electronically. So we've set up a website where you'll be able to go and see all of the subjects and choose in the subjects that best suit you and your pathway and your learning style. So all students will receive an email with a link into it. You'll click on the link and that will take you to the page, and then you go in and add your preferences. There's instructions on the website and also in the email. Then you're going to print off a receipt and sign that, because we just want to be 100% sure that all families are happy with that. We don't want parents choosing subjects for their students without them knowing about it, and equally students choosing things without parents. So you'll print off a receipt and send that in, and then we'll know that the subjects that you've elected are locked in, and we will then go about setting that up, that learning program for you. So the email will look a lot like this. There'll be a link here where you'll click on it. It'll have some information about your login and some instructions on where to go, and you'll be able to click directly on the email, load it up. Of course, if it doesn't work, you can always copy and paste the link that's in the web page into your web browser, and then just go through and follow the instructions. All of our Year 10 students for next year will have already experienced that. When you're at the end of Year 8, you would have used this choosing your Year 9 subjects, which you've all done, so it shouldn't be a difficult thing. But if you have any issues with that, please contact the school and we will provide you with the support that you need. So thanks very much. If you've got any questions, I encourage you to contact the school and we will get back to you, or hopefully we'll be able to talk to you directly and give you any guidance or any support or resolve any difficulties that you need. And if need be, come into the school and let's have a chat, because we want to get things set up for all of our students so they get the best education they can. Thanks very much for listening. Take care.